Hi, this is Mary Jo. I've been a nurse for 50 years and, believe it or not, lost over 100 pounds as a postmenopausal woman. I didn't think that could happen. I have also reversed chronic disease in my life. And I'm here to discuss with anyone who's interested in how this occurred for me to discuss the science of nutrition. Today, I would like to do a follow up to my last presentation, which was on the magic of legumes for weight loss and prevention and reversal of disease. And this is part two of legumes, how to introduce them into your diet. First and foremost, if you've never eaten this product before, you're going to have to think about a couple of things. Give your taste buds time to acclimate. Don't say, I don't like it. You do like it, or you will. Is that too facetious of me to have stated? I'm so sorry. But sometimes we have to give foods like up to 15 tries to find a way to allow our taste buds to appreciate the fullness of their flavor. Now, another thought is if you've never eaten this type of dietary way before, your taste buds are so acclimated to sugar and salt, you're going to find everything tasteless. So you have to just find a way to let your taste buds heal. You have to find a way to appreciate the food. Now, some people may have allergies, but most people are not allergic to all the legumes. So think about that. Don't do anything that's going to offset your progress in health. Okay, with that being said, introduce it a little bit at a time. I don't know if my tips are going to help as much as I'd like them to, but here goes. So for breakfast, well, here's something really, really easy. Grab some drained pre-cooked chickpeas. Now, when I buy beans at the grocery store, I usually find something like this, and you will hopefully see that these are no salt added. I have this available to me, and I love using this type of product. I found these at Whole Foods, but I'm not trying to advertise for them. You can find canned beans. Be careful about BPA linings because that can offset toxin exposure in your life. You might also want to think about if they contain salt or not. Now, if you have no option but to buy a product that does contain salt, I always rinse it before I use it. If there's no salt added and whatever I'm creating could use a little fluid, I just add the whole thing. But that's up to what you want to do. Okay, so be careful about salt. Now, you can just buy a bag of any kind of uncooked beans. I have a one pot, and you know what? It's great. I've always been afraid of pressure cookers because I hear they can explode. Well, I can use my one pot easily to create a batch of beans if that's what I prefer to do. Then there's no additives, there's no salt, and it's beautiful. It doesn't take much time. You just have to read the instructions, Google it, because it's always a good idea to really have rinsed those beans well before you cook them. Okay, so breakfast, I was saying just take some chickpeas. Just take, a tablespoon and put a bowl of fruit together. And voila, there you got breakfast. No problem. You could add some cinnamon or vanilla to it. And you could also add, to increase its nutrient density, some flaxseed or some chia seeds. There are many other ideas, but in relationship to legumes, just add a little bit of chickpeas or whatever bean you prefer and stir it up with your lovely fruit, and it will make a delectable dish. Okay, other breakfast ideas. I have kind of a combination here, breakfast and lunch. Let's see. How do I show you this without spilling it on myself? There we go. I think we're getting into the picture. I'm a little fearful of moving my camera. Now you can see my black bean burger here, which is really ready for lunch. And in this is a collard wrap. See, it's a collard wrap. I took the two sides off, put them together, and you really can't see very well here, so I better move my tomatoes and my pretend mayonnaise. You still can't see it very well, but I have slices of tempeh. Now I took the tempeh and I put it in about 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. Now, I only like so much hot sauce, so I put 1 teaspoon of hot sauce in. Other people would prefer 2 teaspoons or something in between. That's up to you and your taste buds. I put in a teaspoon of cumin and stir it up and marinate this in it. Then I take a nonstick fry pan and kind of cook it. You can bake it. It doesn't quite have the same effect, but it doesn't matter. It just heats it up a little bit. And this is my attempt at pretend bacon. I don't like to say pretend, but today I would tell you the first time I tried it, I don't know if I liked it that much, but does it taste just like bacon? No. But today I actually like it better than bacon. Bacon is too something. I don't know, salt or something. It's just too much. And this I really, really like. So this is my pretend BLT. I have my tempeh bacon. Now some people will put some date sugar or maple syrup in it. I really don't like all that added sweetness to it. I like it just like this. And I've seen several recipes that may just be coconut aminos or coconut aminos and hot sauce, but I like the impact of the cumin in there. I think it gives it a really nice resounding taste. Now the white in there, you can't really see it very well, but that is a mayo type preparation. Now you can take like hemp seeds and cashews. If you want, you can soak them, or you can just try them in the Vitamix as is, and you can put in some different, like apple cider vinegar, maybe some Dijon mustard, and you can usually and seasonings, and you can come up with something similar to a mayonnaise type taste. In fact, some of these recipes out there on the web are really, really good. You can do the same thing with tofu. You can do tofu and half cup of nuts if you want. You don't have to do it that way. But I would recommend you look up recipes and then make them your own and do with them as you will. So anyway, I also have a black bean burger here. So this could be a you know, you can eat any food for breakfast you want. You can eat any food for lunch you want, any food you want for dinner. So anyway, this is a recipe that comes from drfurman.com, created by Jenna Furman, and it's called Easy Black Bean Beet Recipe. It's very similar to that. Anyway, and she does a marvelous job, but I shortcutted it. So I shortcutted it by, I take black beans and pre-cooked beets. Trader Joe's has some very nice pre-cooked beets without additives to it. I think Whole Foods might have the same thing, but be careful, because I've picked up pre-cooked beets before, and they'll have sugar and salt and chemicals in them. So be careful what you choose to purchase. And so this is just beans, black beans, and red beets, which give it kind of just a mild little sweetness in there, which I think is delectable. And to bind it together, to hold the beans and everything together, you need something. So you could use, I think I used a half cup of oatmeal and a 1/4 cup of walnuts. Now, I love using walnuts in recipes because of their high nutrient density, but that deviates me from legumes. Any seasoning you want, but I think this one has coconut aminos, but not a lot. Coconut aminos, even the low sodium variety, has a significant amount of sodium in it. And since initially I had a problem with hypertension, which no longer exists, I don't think I need to use very much sodium in my diet at all. The food I eat gives me plenty. I don't need additional sodium outside that. So, I think there's some smoked paprika in this. Sometimes I put chili powder in it. Now, instead of like cutting up onions and garlic and pre-cooking them before I add it to everything else, I just put in onion powder, and garlic powder. And once again, anything else you think you would enjoy, throw it in there. If it's a herb, it's usually something that can increase the nutrient density of whatever it is you're eating. So anyway, that is kind of a very fast rendition of a black bean beet burger, and using tempeh for producing a bacon-like product. Now, I also like to take tempeh, and this is the package I find at the grocery store. I like the original. They have like a bacon flavor and something else. I don't like those because, in my opinion, there's too many chemicals in there. I'll just create my own. Now, this I've just taken, so here, this is more of a dinner recipe. So my chopped tomatoes. This is no salt added chopped tomatoes. I don't like to buy tomatoes in a can. I prefer to buy them in a glass jar, or I will buy them in this box. Once again, I'm trying to find a packaged form of tomatoes that gives me the pure tomato without added toxins. That's why I do the wacko things that I do. And I can always find tomato products without added salt, and I always use them. If you have a garden with tomatoes, and then cook down those tomatoes, you can make any kind of sauce you want with them. So this is chopped tomatoes, and it's got plenty of fluid in it. I put it in a pan. I put mushrooms in it, cook that all up, and I take my tempeh and I crumble it up and put it in there. It gives it kind of a hearty texture. Now, if I'm making a marinara type sauce, which is this is meant to be, I put in I'm not sure how much you want, but maybe a teaspoon of oregano, of basil, and maybe a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. And just let that simmer for a while. Add your mushrooms, add your tempeh, and you have a delightful marinara sauce. You can put actual spices in there, like real basil, if you want, but that's up to you. Sometimes during the summer, I have the actual herb, but more often I have the dried variety, and I'm always rearranging recipes because it can be a little expensive going out there and getting all these herbs, especially if you don't find a way to use them up before they need to be thrown out. So always, feel free to change things up to service you. Okay, you can put it on bean pasta. You can, I love taking spaghetti squash and cooking it and forking it out and then putting my marinara sauce and something. You could put it on zucchini ribbons. There's many delightful ways you could utilize it. I've never tried to do this myself, but I have actually seen in the grocery store like sweet potato ribbons and things, so you could put it on top of sweet potatoes if you wanted. It's all up to you. In fact, you could actually bake a sweet potato, cut it open, and throw the marinara sauce. So there's lots of ways of utilizing. It's a very versatile sauce. It's very tasty. I absolutely love it. And you can put it on top of anything you want. And there you go. You've got a dinner. Last time I reported to you, I used shaved Brussels sprouts, mushrooms. I like to use pinto beans, any bean you can use, and whatever flavoring or herbs or spices you want. You can create a taco seasoning. You can create an Italian seasoning. It's whatever sounds good to you at that point in time. I don't think it's like, this is my leftovers. This is delicious, but I don't know that it looks delicious. But I was trying to make it so you could see some of the beautiful green. And in this one, I actually, do anything you want. I actually added some leftover frozen broccoli, and I had some spinach that needed to be used up, so I put it in the food processor, ground it all up, and I let it, I'm putting other things together, so it's no big deal to let it sit. And I'm wanting those ITCs and the greens to form before I heat it. And then I throw it in, and that increases, once again, its nutrient density. I've got so many good things in there. I could just eat it forever. Well, that's not true because I get too full. anyway, what else do I have to show you? I have to show you, this is quite fun. This is called chocolate hummus. Now, you can use any bean you want. I like to use black beans. I have also done it with cannelli beans. Maybe 3 to 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder, somewhere between 4 and 8 dates. Now, the dates all depends on your desire for sweetness. A teaspoon of cinnamon, and maybe a big fat extra tablespoon. I mean, you know, I just take a tablespoon and I get kind of lazy about measuring things out and cleaning all of my stuff, so I just take a soup spoon and take out some almond butter. I mean, you can use cashew butter, almond butter, walnut butter, peanut butter, whatever you want to use. Be careful with peanut butter because some of the peanut butters out there have some toxic ingredients in them that is not particularly a good idea. Yeah, but I'll talk more about nut butters in the future. And of course, I have my beautiful apple all ready to go. I'm going to slice up this apple and put this chocolate hummus on it, or dip it into the chocolate hummus, and it is a very sweet, nutritional treat. I just love it. So I don't know, did I give you some good ideas about how to introduce beans into your diet? If you're trying to start slow, just take one meal and add some bean product to it, like 1 bean burger, 1 BLT, or if you're making it for dinner, you might want to just take a small amount of that. You might want to get yourself a very large, see, when you steam greens, they just go way down, like a big pot of steamed greens with some seasoning or sauce on it that you enjoy. And so you just eat a little bit of the bean preparation and a lot of the other stuff. So that may be a way to help you out as well. There are so many recipes out there, and I think you've probably seen them, where you can put cannelli beans or black beans and you can make cookies and brownies out of them. So if you're on the hunt for additional recipes or more specifics, please feel free to go to drfurman.com and take a look at his recipe selection. Another resource that you might enjoy is called Hello Nutritarian. And if you said, Mary Jo, how do you eat? I would say, I try very hard to be a nutritarian. I want everything I eat to have as much nutrient density as possible. And that doesn't mean removing the pleasure of the food. I love to eat. I am a foodie from the inside out. And this produces a wonderful array of nutrients and delicious foods. So I hope I gave you some ideas on how to get started. So take care. You take care of you, because you are so important to the rest of us. With love and appreciation in my heart for all you are and all you do, and a special thank you for watching this YouTube video. I hope, let me know how you feel. Take care, and for now, goodbye from Nurse Mary Jo. I never know which hand to wave, so I wave them both. Goodbye for now, and join you to talk about onions.